Hey, I'm Joe.
Hey, I'm David.
And this is the 40th year of Alpha.
Hey, we want to tell you that story.
So Father Ed McCarthy is actually the man who invented and wrote the Alpha Retreat as part of his dissertation.
And Richard Schlitt was the first Alpha leader ever.
So we invited both of them to Gainesville with us, along with some other Alpha alumni to celebrate.
My candidate Alpha was in fall 2013. Hey, mine too!
It's running through my veins.
Fall 2007, next generation of Alpha.
Hi, I'm Richard Schlitt, and I led Alpha in 1977.
So if you didn't know, Joe led Alpha last semester. What's crazy is that Richard led the same retreat 40 years back. Now back in Vero, they knew each other. Richard was actually Joe's youth minister. Like, what are the odds? Like, what the heck?
Crazy. So Richard leads mission trips, and he led youth group for a while here in Vero Beach, our hometown. And so I met him through the church here, through Holy Cross Church in Vero Beach, growing up just as a high school student.
Joe was one of those wonderful kids who could bring other kids to the youth program. Eventually I talked him into doing a mission, and he just loved it and fell in love with it, and really the kids fell in love with him. So our youth ministry program grew because of Joe.
So then we asked Richard, how did this all start?
I decided to go to a youth group meeting, and during that youth group meeting, just so happened a priest by the name of Father Ed McCarthy was speaking to try to get some volunteers to be a part of his training program for his Alpha, his first Alpha. We were guinea pigs for his doctorate program he was working in. I had no relationship with Jesus before that, but I want to. And it all began there.
So when we're talking to Richard about his time here at the University of Florida and Catholic Gators and St. Augustine's, turns out the Alpha Retreat wasn't the only thing that looks so similar to what's going on today. In fact, Richard actually lived in Hurley upstairs. What? And back then they even had like a free weekly student dinner, if that sounds familiar at all.
At that time of Gainesville, a lot was happening. We had a lot of Catholics there, and we started a lot of new programs. You know, we invited every freshman for spaghetti dinner. I think you guys do something like that still. Weekly on Wednesdays. We cooked tons and tons of spaghetti. We learned how to cook it fast because these kids ate a lot of food. You know, we did some crazy stuff, and we started doing retreats. So I planned a retreat my first year there, and had the facility rented. I think it's the same place you use, Camp Crystal, but it had no heat. That weekend it was scheduled to snow. Father Ed called me up and said, now, do you have adequate heat in the retreat facility? I said, yep, I've rented a couple propane 90,000 BTU heaters, and we can put one in the mess hall and one in the dorms, and everything's gonna be fine. And he says, well, I'm not coming. So needless to say, he did not show up. We got saved by Father Gillespie.
From there, Alpha continued for 40 years in Gainesville at the University of Florida. And I remember telling Richard, hey, I got accepted to UF, I'm gonna be a Gator. And he said, all right, you better go on this thing called Alpha when you get up there. If it's, ask if Alpha still exists. Eventually I get involved in Catholic Gators, which has become a very good home for me. And immediately I hear about this thing called Alpha. I went as a candidate my freshman year, and then I served on team, I think 5 semesters in a row. And then I was asked to be the leader for last semester.
The first Alpha, we had 24 candidates and 6 people helping put on. In the 70s, it was a very difficult time for the St. Augustine. They didn't have enough money to survive. So why don't we use Hurley, and we can get some people together, and we can get some free rent, and we do some work at the church. So I exercise every day, going up and down these stairs. My bed is right here. I stayed here a year. We really started opening this place up to people after that. We had 5 people lived up there, and we formed a little community. We ate together in this little dining room, had 20 people here every night, and we all shared meals. And that's kind of special, And the campus ministry was just growing leaps and bounds back then. And it brings tears to my eyes that you guys are still doing it. The amazing thing is that the leaders has taken it to a higher level.
So talking to Richard about the Alpha Retreat 40 years ago, we asked him what his favorite memory was.
I think the trust walk at that night, you're taken away, blindfolded, not where you are, and that happens throughout life.
My favorite activity.
Yeah.
They still do that now. They do the trust walk
that's
every time with the blindfolds. Hope you can know and recognize just how many, like hundreds and even, at this point probably thousands of people who have gone on the Alpha Retreat, and it's changed their life and has been a big invitation.
I hope it's there for my grandkids.
I hope so too. I hope it's there for your grandkids too.
So this 40th year of Alpha, we have this awesome opportunity. As we've already shared this story with you, I hope you can see and know just like how much of an impact Alpha has had on this community here at St. Augustine's, here with the Catholic Gators, me and my own life, as well as hundreds and probably even thousands of other students at this point, hopefully including you as well. So we have a very generous donor who has stepped up, and it's someone who actually has never even been on the Alpha Retreat. They simply heard about it from a friend, and they heard the impact that it had on this person, and they said, wow, that is such a good thing, and I want to make sure it keeps happening. And so this generous donor has donated $50,000, and this donation is actually a match donation. So up to $50,000, this person's willing to match all of our donations. So with us, with the Alpha community, if we can raise $50,000, that will ensure a $100,000 endowment for Alpha. And that means that Alpha can last forever. I know that this retreat, the Alpha Retreat, has impacted me, it's impacted a lot of people. Hopefully it's impacted you in a way that has changed your life forever. And with this endowment fund, with this chance, with this opportunity, hopefully we can ensure that this retreat forever is able to impact everyone.
So to ensure that this retreat can go on forever, you can send us your prayers as we go forward in this Alpha 40 and 50 endowment. And you can also go online at catholicgators.org under the donate tab and help make a difference. Cool.
Richard! Oh my gosh!
Because I was a fool for loving her over you. And if I fall, I really hope you'll call me, 'cause I'm not over you.
I'm Peter. My candidate Alpha was fall 2011. Holy crap.
Catch this. What's the seed? Nutois or what?
Oh, yeah.
Quinoa.
Oh, I get it.
Are you coming with us?
Oh, I'm coming with you.
Oh, good. You can turn that off now. I can eat without being taped.
Oh, it's off.
You lie like a Persian rug.